This is number 6 of 7, and it's anger. It's the sin of anger. Remember, we're talking about the fact that we have a manifesting distress symptom. For the sin of anger, it would be a distress symptom of inability, again, to be vulnerable, but it manifests not through sloth and laying on the couch, but as angry outbursts, erratic behavior, neuroticism, selfishness, uncharitableness, depression, of course, because that's anger towards inward to the self, and hopelessness, and finally, a great despair. So, if you have any of these distress symptoms, this could actually not be your issue. Anger is not your issue if you have angry outbursts, erratic behaviors, the neuroticism, where you're focused constantly on the self with this selfishness, or being uncharitable to other people, or if you have severe depression. It may be, could be even biological. But when we look at healing the inner wounds, and we realize that during times of woundedness, the enemy enters in and he proposes a lie to us. What is the lie that is proposed? Um, when we're dealing with the root wound, it's not anger, it's actually abandonment wounds. Abandonment, or a fear of abandonment. This root wound of abandonment issues manifests through excessive anger issues. An identity lie, during some kind of abandonment that takes place, where the enemy proposes, you will always be alone. You come into agreement with the lie that the enemy proposes. You'll always be alone. No one cares or understands me. I will always be alone. I need to protect myself. I lost some of my life, and it's never going to get better. These kinds of lies that are proposed, then you come into agreement and you say, yes, I will always be alone. No one cares about me. No one loves me. When we take this stronghold and allow the enemy a foothold in this place of our lives, and we function out of that painfulness, the sin that we then react in as a form of protection is like a porcupine. The quills come out, and the anger is a form of self-protection from the feeling that no one cares about me, nobody loves me, and I will always be alone. The unexpressed pain, so someone is too uncomfortable with showing their anger, will manifest in a severe depression, and that again is anger towards inward. This is an idolatry of control. You will see this also in control freaks. What it really is again, because it's linked to vulnerability, but it's this fear that no one gets you, and so it can manifest in just the most minute forms of control issues, and be very angry if they're unable to control things, or somebody's breaking from their ability to be able to control something. The identity lie is that being vulnerable means that you will lose your rights, or that you will be violated, or that if you're vulnerable, you're opening yourself for people to hurt you, or you will be used. Is resentment and being disappointed. This is excessive. I mean, all of these emotions we have usually, but I'm talking these excessive emotions. Um, there can be even spirits that are linked to anger. So the spirit of mockery, there is one of them. The spirit of retaliation, the spirit of division, the spirit of murder. So we would actually say, in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, who came in the flesh, I renounce, I bind, and send to the foot of the cross for you to deal with the spirit of mockery, rage, murder, division, and retaliation. And I ask that you cover me in your precious blood and protect me from these spirits. And then again, saying, in the name of Jesus, I renounce that I will always be alone. I renounce that no one cares or loves me. And I ask you, Lord, to come into my heart today. The opposite virtue of anger is long suffering, which means to be waiting on God in your pain and trusting in that place, which again is linked to vulnerability and can be difficult to do.